Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. We're gonna talk about something that been on my heart for a while now. I just never got around to it. I know it's kind of been a minute on this channel, but I have some value to add, to give, so I want to give that today. And I also want to move when the Holy Spirit moves. So like I said, whenever I feel led to talk or speak about something, that's when I'm gonna do it. So as you guys can see by the title, we're going to be talking about solitude. We're going to be talking about how I master solitude and how you, yes, you can master solitude just like I did. Oftentimes when you're in solitude, people look at you differently, like, oh, they probably in solitude because they're weird, or, they have a bad personality, or, just all of these criticisms that can stem from solitude. In my personal opinion, I feel like solitude shouldn't be looked at as something that is looked down upon. I had another word for it. It wouldn't pop up into my head, but I feel like solitude shouldn't be something that's looked down upon, but instead I feel like more people should shed light on solitude, because if you do it correctly, then it can be something that's really helpful for you, very conducive for your future and for whatever you want to focus on, or whatever goal that you may have, whether it's mentally, spiritually, physically, emotionally, whatever the case may be. If you work through solitude the correct way, it can be very beneficial, and I'm going to tell you guys how, and some of the things that I did while in solitude to help that growth really come forward. So a short little backstory. If I'm being honest, I've been in solitude for a while now. It's usually like a big period of time, and then maybe I'm around a few people, and then it's back to solitude. But oftentimes when I am in solitude, it's for a significant amount of time, and I'm talking like a year plus. As soon as I got out of high school, I hung out with people here and there, but after a while, like when I begun to find myself, begun to find myself, that's when I really started being by myself. Because when you're
ever had a dreams that you had you could you do you want you could
when you're by yourself and you sit down with yourself and it's just you and God, you start to learn different things about yourself. You start to see the world in a different picture, in a different view, a different lens. And it's not something you want to like just become, if that makes sense. That's not something you necessarily want to be a partaker of, especially when you are a child of Christ and you know your identity, or you're getting to know your identity. And I do want to say, most of the time, God will put his chosen ones in solitude, because that's when we get to hear his voice the most, learn the most from him. That's when God has our attention and we have the Lord's attention. And so after I graduated, I was in college and stuff like that, but I didn't really make friends in college like that. I didn't really have like that desire to really hang around anyone that I went to high school with, and things like that. So I kind of just, it was my sister and I, like my family. I just worked, went to school, and that was it. And then I didn't really hang around people like that. I do make music, so sometimes I would hang around maybe like producers like myself and stuff like that. But that period of time was a very short period of time. It ended very quickly for me, and I went right back into solitude. Now, I used to actually not like solitude. Most people don't. Most people can't handle it. Most people are not mentally strong enough or emotionally strong enough to handle solitude. But I feel like I've always been that person that was a little bit of a loner, and I never knew where to fit in. I was always here and there and here and there. And most of the time it was just like I ended up kind of like, just chilling, sticking by my own side. So So, you know, I actually there was a point in time where I finally surrendered my life to Christ. So I was back in solitude. And but this time around it wasn't as bad because, you know, during those times where I was put in solitude, like the first couple times, it wasn't like fun, and I still craved, like, you know, affection or like maybe being around somebody. But nowadays, like, I'm so filled up with the joy of the Lord, the love of the Lord, that I am perfectly content in solitude. And now I'm not in any way, shape, or form saying just completely let go of community. Community is very important. I have my family, so, and I have the Lord, so that's what helps. You know, I go to church and things like that. So I'm not saying completely like seclude yourself from everybody. And you know, I work, so I talk to people when I see them at work. But yeah, so I'm just gonna name a few things that has really helped me to overcome that journey of that loneliness or feeling lonely, because you don't have, oh God, that's so awkward. Yeah, my neighbor. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna be letting you guys know some of the benefits of solitude, some personal benefits that I've had. I cannot speak. Some personal benefits that I've had, and some benefits that could possibly work for you if you execute solitude correctly. So, you know, if you're Christian like myself, a believer, and you're in pursuit of the Lord, it teaches you to rely on God, because obviously, you know, all you really have is yourself really in that period of time. And I would say that you learn how God speaks if you are intentional, of course. And then it definitely teaches you to be comfortable with who you are, because you sit with yourself for like so long. Then I would definitely say you become stronger physically, mentally, and emotionally, because, you know, you sit with your emotions. It's just you and your mental and God. So like, you learn how to work through things and navigate through things, you know, by yourself. Not completely by yourself, but you guys know what I mean. So those are just some benefits. And then of course we're gonna go over how I personally sorry y'all, my neighbor, how I personally mastered solitude. So the first way, one of the best ways I would say, is staying busy. Just stay busy, because it takes your mind off of the aloneness and stuff like that. So definitely stay busy, and you know, spend time working if that's what you do. Whatever you do for work, stay busy with that. There's a lot of different ways you can occupy yourself. You can even, you know, occupy yourself with the things of God. A very, very huge part for me was spending time with God. That's the best thing you can really do in solitude. You know, make sure you're reading and you're praying and you're fasting and you're just getting to know God, because in doing that, He will fill you up. He will literally fulfill you, like literally. He will fill those voids and those needs, so you won't feel like, you know, it's just super alone, because God is with you and you have a friend in Jesus. Another way I would say is, what I did was spend time doing what you love, because when you spend time doing when you spend time doing what you love, the time flies by so fast, like, because you're just busy enjoying yourself. So yeah, spend time doing what you like to do. You know, hobbies and stuff like that. That ties into like trying new things. You know, go hiking, go rock climbing, go to the range, like try archery, like just anything that you haven't tried. Try new foods, new drinks, travel, take road trips or something like that. Just try different things, and you You might not know what you might end up sticking with, and you might actually really enjoy that, and could become like a hobby for you or whatever. Oh, this is also like super super important. I would say like spend time self-improving and educating yourself. Education is super important. Knowledge is super important, but only if you use that knowledge to your benefit. Like if you learn something, you gotta apply it to make it work. Yeah, self-improvement, I would just say, like, working on your mentality, working on the way you view things. Learn how to be grateful for what you have, and learn how to be content in the moment and stuff like that. Read books, watch YouTube, learn different things. Like, it's limitless what we can learn. So definitely self-improve, and that includes like going to the gym, eating healthier, and when you look better and you're healthy inside, you will perform better, you will just look better, feel better from the inside out. I would say include a lot of self-care. This is something that I actually became very passionate about, because when you are taking care of yourself, like, you can be the best version of yourself for you, for those around you, for the will of God. So I would say a lot of self-care. Make sure you're taking you're getting exercise, taking your vitamins and supplements, and you're on your skincare, your body care. Like, make sure you smelling good, looking good, all of that, because it just plays a really big part and how you feel and stuff like that, I would say. Okay, so this is the last thing that I put, but definitely is not ranked last on the list, but fulfilling the will of God. Because I'm telling you, when you start fulfilling the will of God, that's when you're really going to start feeling complete, because your purpose is literally in fulfilling the will of God. Like, we are here to serve the Lord, and we are called according to his purpose. I hope I didn't say that backwards. Y'all know what I'm trying to say. You feel me? Okay. Talk to God. Hey, God, like, what is your will for my life? What do you want me to do? And when you sit down, you spend time with God in the solitude, oh, you can be sure that you will find out your purpose, because I certainly did, and it's still growing. God is still giving me revelation about why I'm here on this earth. And when you're walking in your purpose, there's such a beauty and like fulfillment in that. So make sure you're plugged in to a community, and you're just doing things that are like positive, things that are giving, like giving back, you know what I mean? And there's a great fulfillment in giving back as well. And that's what the Lord wants us to do. We should never be stingy. Like, we are blessed to be a blessing to others. So yeah, I would say those are like the main points in how to master solitude. That's literally how I mastered it. Like, I didn't really like to be alone, because I felt that feeling of loneliness. But like, after this, like, sitting down, getting to know myself, like, honestly, I kind of got to the point where, like, I'd rather be by myself than around people. Like, but make sure you're doing it in a healthy way, always in moderation. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you have family or a community. If not, maybe you can find a buddy to walk through solitude with, somebody that's on the same page as you. So, it looks a little less scarier. But yeah, I hope you guys got edified by this video, that you took something from it. If you guys implement this, or if you have, please let me know your experience in the comments, and may God bless you on this journey. And if you feel lonely during solitude, just know that God is always there. He will never leave you nor forsake you. So yeah, I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for tuning in. Until next time.